All right, everybody, we are here now for the Tuesday, June 27th Executive Committee meeting, 8:30 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order at this point in time. With us tonight, we have Jeff Marsimo, Dean Packard, Jim Marine Sr., Dave Bellantoni, Jim Marine Jr., Tom McCarthy, and Mike Kimbar. We do have a few absent tonight, but we'll catch up with that at a later time. So the purpose of tonight's meeting is to catch back up. I want to first take full responsibility for not having a meeting over the last month and a half to 2 months. I have taken a new job. I'll be leaving Charlton Middle School to become the principal at Bay Path Regional Vocational Technical High School. That hasn't been an easy task, closing out a school and moving into another one, but it's one that I'm very excited about. And yes, I will be able to secure the facility for any and all meetings that we have, which will be good. I'm sorry the ride isn't closer for some of the individuals who are more towards the outer side of Central Mass than Dudley, but at least it's still a free facility and we'll be able to utilize their gym for whatever we need to do. Purpose of the meeting, obviously, number one, we got a lengthy agenda in front of us, but catch up and collaboration time. Since some time has lapsed since the 29th meeting that we last had, I just want to make sure I go across the executive board and see what's going on, how people are doing, and more importantly, just where the mindset is about getting prepared for the 2023-24 season. So why don't we start off with Tom? You're never short for words.
Well, I work summer hoop tonight, so there's opportunity out there.
Okay.
Pete Delastrito's looking for people.
Yep.
The want to work in Auburn. He's got 4 nights a week. I've got Tohoto, a small league. That's all assigned at this point, but you know, people turn games back for a variety of reasons, and especially in the summer. So people are interested in working. Get a hold of these people. Let them know you want to work.
Perfect. That's
Good.
Solid advice. Appreciate that.
Good way to stay, you know, kind of on top of your game.
Yeah. And there's still summer AAU going on as well, if that's what you want to do. So there are definitely different avenues to pursue if you want to work, and appreciate you saying that. Again, that's Tom McCarthy. If you're interested, reach out to him, and Pete Delastrito. Jim Marine Sr.
Yep. I'm looking forward to this year. My cardiologist retired. I'm going to a new cardiologist in October, and I'm hoping she'll take me off that Eliquis, so maybe I can do some youth games.
Nice.
That's my hope anyway. But one of the things I think we need to talk about too, this meeting is we talked about having the cookout again.
We do. It's on the agenda.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk when we get to it then. But other than that, you know, I'm doing fine. I have to start rough and I keep gaining weight. So.
And it's going to keep you busy and keep your mind fresh too.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing. Thanks. Great to catch up. Jeff Marsmo.
I've just been working on my golf game, which is always a job in itself. But yeah, summer's going okay. I lost a dear friend of mine last week that I grew up with, and lost my mother-in-law back in April, and almost lost my mom in February. So it's been I'm hoping the second half of the year is much better, and looking forward to the fall and getting the basketball going.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear all that, and I'm glad that some of those individuals are still with us, so which is good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Dave.
I have nothing.
I got nothing. He's dropping the mic. I've been working. Leave me alone. All right. You're just forcing me to talk, man.
What's with these late meetings? 8:30. It's bedtime.
Listen, nobody else can get here early. All right, I'll shut you off. Make it easy.
No.
All right.
No,
Jim
my
Marine,
life's kind of boring. My kids moved away, so.
Okay, we get you.
So it's quiet.
It's quiet. Kate said, let's do dinner. She's yelling it from the background.
Anytime.
All right, reach out to her. Schedule it.
Okay.
Jim Jr.
Just softball for the rest of the summer with one of my daughters, and then band camp or guitar rock camp, they call it, guitar camp for my other daughter. And somewhere mixed in there, actually my parents were nice enough to take them for 2 nights in August, so my wife can go away. My wife and I can go away.
Nice.
So
good.
That's about it.
It's going to cost you, you know.
Thanks, Dad. I see Dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it. Good stuff right there. Mike Kimbar.
Yeah, I'm still here. Even though you can't see me, I know.
We're gonna buy you a video for your,
Hey, the more things change, the more they stay the same. The only thing different for me is I'm not gonna be on the court this year. So I'm gonna be retired.
you're gonna retire fully?
Yep.
No,
Just getting hurt too many times and my legs can't take it anymore. So
no, that's a
all done.
loss. That's a loss, but we're glad you're still with us. Believe me.
Yeah, no,
He
I'm
can
gonna
soak-
stay
he
on
can
and I'll
soak
stay
in his
active
new
on this,
pool.
What's that?
You can soak in your new pool. You'll feel better.
You can't do that in the winter, Tom. Sorry.
Let's see if we can get you a hot tub budget or something where you can take care of
Well,
that.
if somebody wants to give me $5,000 for a hot tub, I'm all for it.
There you go. Fair enough. I'll put that out there in a survey. See who's got that for you.
Just put a heater in your pool, you'd be all set.
Yeah. So, we're glad you're still with us, Mike. There's no doubt. All right, Derek, you're up, man. Just checking. How have you been?
Rough week. Lost my uncle Sunday. My wife's aunt is in ICU, and I'm having a peach at work right now. So
Phew. Okay, sorry. And,
yeah,
that's why we're here. If we can help in any capacity, let us know, okay?
yeah. It's just getting the family prepared. That's all. That's life is life, but some people deal with it differently. So
Yeah,
it's
understood.
getting everybody prepared.
Understood. Well, we're with you. We're behind you. Hey, Don,
Thank you.
you're up, brother. It's been a while.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sorry about your uncle, Derek.
Thank you.
Never an easy time. Everything's fine here.
Are you in
My house
Florida
is
or
all
Charlton?
My house is all packed up. I'll be heading to Florida second week of August. Currently, I'm going to be renting an apartment in Worcester indefinitely. Due to work issues and so forth, and so I'm going to be around. At least probably, I think I'm going to rent this apartment until maybe the spring. So I might be around for the season, but I'll be around to help Bruce.
Awesome.
I'll be going back and forth to Florida as a result of work and stuff like that. So.
Great. Speaking of that, on our agenda, we have number 5, the ethics board update. If you want to just speak briefly about that. I did send an email to Bruce. I don't know if he got it or not. So we did try to reach out to him with a text too. So
I'll reach out to Bruce this week. I need to circle back still with Stanley and Jackie. I've been playing phone tag with them. I've been pretty busy between the selling of the house and also work. So
understood. And sort
I'll
of
circle back with them.
awesome. Thank you very much. So Bruce Edwards will be taking over as the chair of the ethics committee going into the 2023-24 season. And we want to make sure we thank Don Allery for his time and his willingness to work in capacity with Bruce as he transitions into that role. And Bruce has agreed to do that. Am I correct?
Yeah, he did last time I talked to him. So,
Okay, perfect.
I don't know if, the meeting was still short notice, even with a week's notice versus a day.
Sure. No. Totally get it. Yeah, totally get it. So we'll make sure he's got plenty of notification for the next one that we do have so we can get him on board and get him heading in the right direction. All right. Thank you, Don. We appreciate that. One of the things that did come up through Tom McCarthy, and I reached out to a particular individual, is that making sure that if you're working during the summer, you're not working with any unpatched officials. One of the things that we have to be cognizant of is the fact that once we start doing that, we're selling our soul and not living by the livelihood of what we all do and what we've all taken as class trainings, and more importantly, to the connectivity back to board 26. So I'm going to open that up for anybody. And Tom, if you want to elaborate a little more, I did have a conversation with that individual person, and just wanted to let the executive board know that.
Good. It's the insurance piece too. That if you're working with a non-patched person, the IBO insurance is not in force for you. And in this day and age, and parents being what they are, I mean, there were 2 guys sitting on the baseline at Auburn tonight in a girls' game, not yelling at the officials, but just, you wanted to look at them and go, well, are you guys the coaches? Because the bench is on the side. And every time down the floor. The kids are looking at him like, will you shut up? But
Yeah.
you can see people like that causing a problem somewhere down the road. And if you don't have the insurance in force, then you're on your own. You're out there floating around.
And most of the individuals who are presently working do understand the patch is the patch. If you see somebody without one on their shirt, it's okay to ask. I mean, listen, it's what we do and it's what we're supposed to be responsible for. So, and most designers get that.
Yep. And, I'm sure the individual you spoke with was fine, understood
Understood.
exactly what
Yep.
you're talking about.
Yep.
And
100%.
and let's be honest, there are still people that no matter what you said in that email to the board,
Yep.
will show up and go, well, he's not patched. I don't care. I want the $80. Let's go.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And but as long as you fired the shot across the bow, so that if it does hit the fan, no one can look at this committee and say, well, if you told me, well, we did.
Correct.
So
Correct. Thank you. Any other comments about that from any other board members? All right, seeing none, let's move on. General board meeting dates for 2023-24. Has anybody looked at the general calendar for that? I'd like to solidify them if we can as a group.
What date was that again, Dean?
These are general board meeting dates for 23-24. I have that on our operating budget. If somebody wants to just pull that up and look, I'd like to make sure we get them done tonight and get them approved, and then get them out to the general population.
all right, well, that I guess brings up the question, are we gonna do the cookout again?
All right, so let's go down. Let's take that first. I'll go off regimen here. Kickoff banquet date. From the committee standpoint, is there anybody that is against having the kickoff banquet again, which I thought was a huge success in year one?
I think it's a great idea.
Okay,
I think it went well last year and I think we should keep going.
okay. Further discussion?
Book the same place, same caterer.
Okay,
They work.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Just
tell
make
them to
sure
bring
the
more ribs
bartender
this
doesn't go
time.
south before we get there.
Make sure the bartender's there.
okay. Yeah, on time? Okay.
Yeah, well,
Good, super
Massimo
sense.
got tired chasing him down the street.
Okay,
Dean, I never got reimbursed for playing bartender that night, by the way.
you gotta put in a note to George Valerie. I'll endorse it as the president.
Didn't we all say thank you? Isn't that enough?
Well, if you don't have it the week I'm going to Maine, we'll call it even.
Do we have a potential date we want to look at, gentlemen? For that
Jeff, when are you going to Maine?
Yeah.
The 10th to the 17th.
What month are we talking about again?
September.
That'd be September.
Oh, as long as it's not the first 2 weeks of September, I'm good.
All right, so let's go. How about the 21st?
What's that on, Tom?
Thursday.
That would work for me.
We have a time frame? 6 to 9,
5:30 to 9?
5:30 to 9? Okay. I'm just taking notes and talking at the same time. Invitation going out to other boards?
Absolutely.
Do we have any special occasions popping up that we should probably take a look at?
Well, do we have Savini Hardy and Ann Nash Zaleski winners?
We do. I sent that out, and if I did not finalize that, I can make that part of this. Yep.
Then we should probably, invite the coaches and ADs from those schools and do the presentation. We always used to do it at our banquet. So we should probably invite them, and certainly invite Ann if she wants to come to do her piece.
Okay. Who do we have? Who's set up to solidify the site?
George booked it last year.
And also, since George isn't here, he'll book it again.
Yep.
I know the place, I forget the name of it.
SAC Park on Lake Street in Shrewsbury.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Dean, we probably should have an alternate date too, in case that night is booked.
Okay. Makes sense.
How about
And
the,
go-
how about
go
the following Thursday, Tom, the 28th?
Sure. 21st, 28th.
Okay,
Starting at 6 or 6:30?
5:30.
5:30.
Oh, 5:30.
Yep, 5:30 to 9 PM. It's in the notes. You don't have to take notes, so it's gonna be in the working agenda that I send out.
Oh, I gotta put it on my calendar, so make sure I'm,
Yep. Understood, but you can circle back to this if you need it. Okay. Any other discussions centered around the kickoff dates? Who's going to contact Milford and Fitchburg? And how do we want to, we just gonna invite executive board members or general board members?
Well, if we invite their entire boards, who's gonna pay for everything?
So there'd have to be a fee that we charge them to come.
What do we-
Whereas if we just
what do we-
invite like the president and the interpreter, then
I will
then
prob-
then we can treat for that. We got the money for that, but beyond that, we want to be careful about.
Makes sense.
I don't know if we want to be sitting there that particular night and doing, somebody sitting there taking cash.
No, they would have to send it in ahead of time and do a pre-registration if we were gonna go that route.
Yeah,
There's a lot to that. That's not easy. I understand.
it's probably more trouble than it's worth. I would stick with the
How about
pres-
the
interpreter
e-boards?
Fitchburg, Framingham, and Milford.
E-boards, right?
Or just the president and interpreter, or officers, president, vice president, secretary, interpreter.
Is that what we did last year?
Yeah, and only one showed up. Sean Burke from Fitchburg showed up.
Well, we had people from Milford show up.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true.
Babe Grady and Tommy were there.
Yeah.
Yep, and they enjoyed it and they thought it was a great thing. So again, we want to continue with that relationship. A lot of our guys work over cross boards too, so.
I employ people from every one of those boards.
Sure. I mean, I would make an argument for extending an invitation to the executive board members from those three organizations. It's not gonna
Okay.
break us. It really isn't.
Okay.
If anything, it's gonna bring us closer. And if there's
Alright.
anybody opposed to that, please feel free to speak.
Okay, I will reach out to Fitchburg because I'm very friendly with Sean Burke, their interpreter. And I will reach out to Milford, Loretta Donahue, their secretary. Does a bunch of games for me.
Okay. Anybody
Uh,
in Framingham?
Framingham, I don't know who's who anymore over there. Their interpreters changed a couple times in the last few years, and frankly, I haven't kept up with it.
Okay. I don't know anybody from Framingham, to be honest with you.
I can, you know what, let me take care of all of them, because I got a guy that works a lot of games for me that's, I believe is on their executive committee, and he can, if he's not, he'll certainly steer me in the right direction.
Sure, and we can give them the right to refuse too if they don't want to come, but we just want to make sure we extend the invitation.
Yeah.
That would be nice. We'll make sure George is aware of that so we can make sure we cover that cost in any capacity. Okay, anybody have an update on IBO University and how that's going for our board? I mean, I've had probably about 6 or 7 inquiries lately in regards to reffing, and what I normally do when I get those at schools, I send them directly to George and Tommy. And Tommy has been outstanding at getting right back to these individuals. So Tommy, I appreciate your ability to be nimble on the fly. And
Said nobody ever about me.
yeah, well, you do a good job with that. I give them the I've received your email, but I have people who are better apt, more inept to get you in the right direction.
I've been directing people. The kid that we had yesterday, I got back to him, told him when the class starts, where it is, time, and then, you know, once you arrive, we'll talk money and, you know, how to make sure you're enrolled and registered and all that. And he asked if it was possible that we would run a class over the summer. And I said, not an in-person class, but here's IBO University if that's what you want to do. And when you're done with that, when you pass that, they then automatically direct you to, based on your address, to your local board.
Yep, and then they have to take the mechanics class.
Right, and then they have to, get pass whatever floor test that local board gives. We give ours. All the other boards around us give something similar, but not exact. There's no set, IBO. It's the floor test is not the way the exam is. The written
Right.
exam is a national exam, and it's the same whether you take IBO University or sit at St. John's High or at the Knights of Columbus in Fitchburg and take your class.
Yep.
That exam is that exam, period.
Okay.
But
Do
the
we-
floor test is an individual board thing. And that what I tell all of them is that is the end of the line as far as certification. You pass the written, you take your local floor test, they certify you at that point. And this kid's concern was, if he did all this, would he be able to work high school games this year? And I said, yes. Obviously you would.
Sub varsity, but I'm sure that he would be able to get games. There's no doubt.
Right. Oh, there's no question.
Yeah. Especially where we are with the shortage.
Right.
Do we have the beginning class dates?
September 5th, 6:30, St. John's High School.
Thank you. And have we solidified St. John's?
That's up to George. That's just a phone call. That's just George calling and saying we're coming, and they say fine.
Okay, and that's done twice a week, right?
Nope, once.
Once a week.
Okay,
Every Tuesday.
Except for one Tuesday because they have parents' night.
every Tuesday for 6 weeks.
And then we usually do it on a Wednesday.
Yep.
And you said 6 to 9?
No, 6:30 to, if we're there,
6:30.
6:30. Jimmy, if we go past 8 o'clock, we're usually in trouble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're out of there before 8.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Around
start
8
to
o'clock,
you
yeah.
start to lose them at an hour and 15.
Yep, we'll say 6:30 to 8 PM. That's fine.
Yeah.
Got that in. Good, thank you. All right, that's enough for us to get started there. We don't have the definitive time for the mechanics class, though, correct? That'll
No,
come-
that's just, we just figure that out on the fly.
Okay. All right.
And what we did last year, we had a couple of people with IBO University. And we had their contact information. And when Gus decided the night he wanted to be in the gym, we reached out to them that night or the next morning. So they had a good 6 days heads up. So we can do that again too.
Okay. All right, that's enough information. At least I can get started with that, and we'll put a list together of everybody that we have. Executive meeting dates, guys, for us as a group, because we got to do a better job of getting everybody here. If people want to be on the executive committee, they do have to come to these meetings. I get that it's been in flux a little bit in the last 2 months I own, but going throughout the season, I think it's imperative that we make it very clear that if you're going to serve on this committee, that you have to be here. If we don't do that, we're going to always have people being absent. And I get that life comes up, but it's also part of a responsibility of being part of this group. So again, I think that if we pop in right now, 3 dates between now and November, we're going to stick by them, and I'm going to send them to everybody and say, set your calendar, boys and girls. Well, we don't have any girls on the committee. We should have some, but
Dean, I would send that out for those that aren't on the call too.
I will. Yep, and with the disclaimer that this is part of the responsibility of being part of this organization, if you want to be part of this board. I think we've been kind of lax with that, and it's my fault too. Again, you want to be organized, and the further we get this out in advance, the better it is for everybody.
Are we gonna do Sundays again like we normally do?
I think Sundays are always a good night. I mean, I have a show that goes off at 7, but that shouldn't stop us from we want to go for 8. It's something that I've done for a number of years. So we can use either 8 or 8:30 on Sundays.
So you're on 60 Minutes now?
Yeah, kind
7
of
o'clock?
close to that. I got a stupid thing that I do across the country with other educators. Dave's laughing. He watches it.
What happens now? You're not in the middle.
Listen, it's still in the middle and we get anywhere from 5,000 to 20,000 views, so it's a lot. It's a lot, it's good. It builds capacity. But aside from that, let's use Sunday nights, and that's not very important right now. So Sunday nights, let's pick a date in, do we want to have one in July? Or do we want to have one in August? I'm
We
open,
definitely have to have August.
I mean,
100%.
we're here. We're already in July next week, so
Shh, this is the June meeting. Shh, 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 shh. I snuck it in before we switch months because I could be fired from this position without a meeting for 2 months. I was kind of hoping somebody wanted to put a motion out there to get rid of
Yeah,
it.
you could be fired, but it would have to be by this committee, and that ain't gonna happen. So
I was hoping somebody put me out of my misery. It would have been
that's
good.
Kate. That's Kate's job.
Yeah, don't say that too loud. Jesus, she's aware.
Well, the
Alright.
first line of your obituary is gonna be, she always said she was gonna get me, and here we
Oh.
are.
She's asked me not to do summer league stuff. That's even worse. I'm going out of my mind. Dave knows how I like my summer league basketball.
Just a suggestion, what if we just looked at it as the second Sunday of every month? And that way, that's a date that you just have down.
I'm okay with that. And I think it's important, even if we meet for 30 minutes. And I think the more that we meet and the more we stay to the fairway of what we're doing, I think it just adds credibility to the entire board. So you want to say the second Sunday?
I'm just throwing that out there, just maybe have a consecutive date every month that we know that we have the meeting on that date.
Mhm.
Yeah, and even if you're away, you can take an iPad with you and.
Right.
Okay.
is this a morning meeting?
Night.
Listen, I mean, I'm open for discussion. This is why we have an
Yeah,
executive
I-
committee.
I'd rather do morning.
You want a morning? I'm okay with a morning. I don't know what people's schedules are. I don't know who golfs in the morning with whom, and I don't know, normally at 8:30 at night, no one's golfing on a Sunday or 8 o'clock at night on a Sunday.
Right, yeah.
Last I checked, unless it's
I
not-
have I have an event, so I have a couple of events, so those will be at the night. So I mean,
hey,
it all depends.
9 a.m. on a Sunday. Works for me. 9 to 9:45, etch it in stone.
I don't
Well,
think
in the-
anybody's out partying.
In the summer maybe, but in the fall, 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning, I'm on a youth football field somewhere.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. Well, how
Driving
about for the summer, we do the mornings?
There you go.
We're gonna have an individual educational plan for everybody here. Whatever works best for you, we're gonna do for your access point.
Hey,
You're an
No,
educator,
Bob,
you have
wait,
those
I feel like I'm
IEPs.
working. What's that?
Have July and August in the morning, and then like Tom said, and start September, we'll go back to night.
All right.
Yeah, but definitely do the second Sunday of each month. That way, everybody has it in their head.
Okay,
Second Sunday.
yeah, well, people forget that very quickly. Even though, including myself. All right, so mornings, summer,
yeah,
and then once the fall hits.
We can go to the afternoon or
Want to
evening.
do 8 PM on 8 to 8:45?
Sunday night.
Yeah.
at 8.
Sunday night at 8. That way, Bell and Tony makes his 9 o'clock bedtime.
It's not bedtime, it's couch time.
Oh, okay.
Same thing.
I get off the couch at 2 a.m.
Yeah. All right, so that's.
Should
So
we
just
get you out of bed
just
onto
like-
the couch already?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What's the
Stone silence. That can't be good.
What happened?
You're gonna send all this out, right?
I don't want a bullying report to be submitted to me, so be kind to one another, please. Okay, please. All right, what else do we have here?
Okay, so are we looking at dates here? The second Sunday of July is the 9th.
All right, the 9th, got it? Okay,
Second Sunday of August is the 13th.
yep, thank you. You want to go right into September?
September 10,
Yep,
October 8th. That's a holiday weekend, but I mean,
okay,
and then we're into the season. We're starting regular meetings. So do
Yep.
we want to just call executive committee meetings at that point as needed?
yep. So what I would say is let's go right to December. Let's skip November for executive committee then.
Okay,
We'll do it. So give me a date in December second week, second one.
The 10th.
December 10.
Okay,
Then you're looking at January 14.
Okay. And one more, February.
February 11th.
11.
That'll put us 2 weeks out from the social, so
Yeah, perfect.
that'll work out well.
And the reality, we should have one more executive session meeting in March and take April off. Because that'll get
Yep.
easier.
And that, if we do that in March, that will cover us as far as being within 30 days of the general meeting of the social.
Perfect. Yep.
That'll keep us within the bylaws, which we didn't do this year for a
Yep.
variety of reasons.
What is the second Sunday in March? I don't have my calendar for me.
March 10th, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, let's quickly switch gears now to the general board meetings that are a must.
Hey, can I interrupt you for a second? Did
Yeah,
somebody
please.
say February 11th?
February.
Yeah.
11th.
That's the Super Bowl day.
So we do it in the morning then.
Done deal. I just put
Well,
morning.
it depends on who's playing.
We can go back to mornings after November.
Yeah. So it'll be discretionary. You just know that date's gonna be a meeting. That works. We'll just.
Yeah, then we'll just figure out the time from there.
Yep, perfect. Okay, we need the dates now for the general board.
Do we have any idea when the books will be in? Because
That's George's domain.
that's sort of our pivot point. So maybe we table this till George can figure out when the books are gonna be in. Because that's what the first meeting is.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, so I'll table this until next
Next meeting.
table till the next table,
July 9th.
till July.
July 9th, by the way, is a very important day in the history of this country.
Why is that?
Your birthday?
It is my birthday.
Should I put that down in the notes?
Uh,
You want that to be known?
Yeah.
public? You're on Facebook, right? It'll pop up
Okay.
all your Facebook friends.
all three of them. A cake would be nice. A virtual cake.
A virtual cake from the committee. I think that can
And
be
just a
established.
picture of a cake, Dean. That'll work.
Okay.
We'll send you a singing telegram.
Until July
Yeah.
9th.
We'll have you try to blow out candles over the screen here.
Yeah.
Everyone will have a candle and see if you can blow them out.
Watch the birthday boy have a stroke.
So I'm just gonna write, all dates will be established in the July executive meeting.
Perfect. Because that gives you still plenty of time to get out to the membership.
Yep. Yep, good. Okay, what else do we have? I covered that ethics update, Don, good. Anything else from the ethics side, Don, while we have you here? Have you heard anything pop up? Any cases, anything?
Haven't been contacted by anybody, so
Okay,
it's summertime.
Yep.
The last meeting was, I think, shortly after the season, but there was nothing was reported, regular season wise, so.
okay, good. General rule of thumb, we never talk about individuals on an open session like this, as we all know. So if circumstances come up that we have to talk about in executive session, we'll just do a disclaimer before we move in any direction. But thank you, Don. Appreciate that. And going back and circling back, appreciate all the work you've done for the multiple years in the position.
No, thank you. It's been my pleasure. Gonna miss it.
I think somehow you're going to still be with us, even from a satellite version of this. You're not going away, which is good. Anything else on 2023-24 that anybody wants to bring to the table? The season thoughts, anything that we can do differently, anything that we want to do?
Where are we with dues people? Or do we need George for that?
Last I talked to George, they were all paid and including everybody. So, which was good.
Not one person. We got
Not one person, George said. Even the president, mine has been in. So yeah, I think I was the last one. So like I said, and I'll say this publicly, when I leave this position, I'm going to ask for the president not to have to pay dues. I will always pay while I sit here, but it's going to be the last thing I do going out for the next person who sits here, because I think it would be the right thing to do. But that won't take place until I won't make that motion until
Did you say double the dues?
Nope. I want the next president to know that the one thing that they can count on is that they won't have to pay dues. Not that it's the end of the world, but I just think it's a nice perk.
In lieu of a limousine.
In lieu of the limousine or the virtual cake that they might get for doing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so nobody has anything new on the update for the season? Any thoughts, suggestions? Status quo?
I mean, there are a couple of major rule changes in the book, so
Yeah, that'll come out through the state organization anyway. Has it already been made?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't want to dive into it right now, do you?
the major one is that there'll be no more 1-and-1s.
Oh, really?
Huh?
Yep. Once you reach 5 team fouls in a quarter, you shoot 2.
So they're following the NCAA women's?
Yep.
Yeah, I
And
was
at
gonna
the end,
say, that's
at
like-
the end of the quarter, they wipe it clean and start over.
I like that.
Wow.
If you've ever done a girls game at Worcester Academy or a women's college game, you know how good this is.
Yeah, I like that.
Is that for
Jimmy,
both
agree?
both boys and women?
Yes, across
Yeah.
the board.
They don't think that'll slow down the game?
Nope.
Speeds
It
it
does
up.
Actually, I think it'll go smoother.
Okay. I'm looking forward to see how that actually works out.
I've done games with that rule where I haven't shot any bonus in games, and we still called 20 to 25 fouls in the game.
Now I can see, and Jimmy, I'm sure you've had it. You got 2 teams that just aren't that talented, and you end up shooting 2 fairly quickly into the quarter, but then it goes away.
Yep.
It doesn't carry over for the entire half.
Yep.
It
And it
stops
allows
at
you to-
some point.
And it allows you to officiate in the sense too, where we've all been in games where we're early on in the first quarter and we're like, oh man, there's already 4 fouls on there, and you might let 1 or 2 slide because you want to be shooting 1-and-1s, at the end of the first quarter, and then double bonus all the way through the second. You just call the game because you know that those fouls are going to wipe off, the second, third, and fourth quarter.
Okay. What was the second change, Tony?
Just as far as inbounding the ball on certain out of bounds plays, there are going to be 4 designated spots. The hash marks on the sideline and a spot either side of the lane line in the front court, but it's only under certain circumstances. Gus will be able to explain it better. But the no 1-and-1 is the biggie.
Okay. All right, so no more where the ball goes out of bounds?
No, if it's tipped out by the defense, and that's the normal thing, there's variables in it.
Okay, we'll wait for the clarification.
Yeah, it's
Essentially, fouls in the front court will go to 4 designated spots based on the trapezoid. So if there's a foul near the division line, it'll go to the 24-foot line, 28-foot line.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Yep.
So you always know where the ball is going to be coming out, essentially.
Definitely makes sense. Okay, great.
I had a coach last night ask me if they called a timeout with about 9 seconds left in a 3-point game. And asked where the ball was going to be put in, and I told her, in the backcourt where you call the timeout, we want to advance it. What league do you think you play in?
The NBA.
NCAA women's.
She said, we do it all the time in high school. I said, no, you don't. So you wouldn't know. I said, been ref in high school for 35 years. I think I know a little more than you do.
All right.
Hmm.
All right, boys, what do we have under other? Anything else? Anything up? Anything you want to bring to the attention of the board members? Okay. Let me see here. All right, seeing that there is nothing that we want to bring up to the board members, what I'd like to do is get a motion to adjourn this session at 9:19 tonight.
I'll make that motion.
Motion.
Make a
by
motion.
Senior. Okay, second by Derek. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yo.
Aye.
All right, we're gonna adjourn this meeting.
Aye.
Stop the recording.